Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me and my very special guest. She is a celebrated, award-winning playwright, actress, journalist, and teacher. And her latest film is Disney's Flora Ulysses, about a young comic book fan, Flora, who saves a squirrel whose superhero powers brings hope and wonder to her family. It is a wonderful feel-good movie. It begins streaming on Disney Plus on February 19th. Please say hello to Anna Deavere Smith. How are you?
I'm good. Great to see you again, Richard. Great to see you.
It's been such a while. First of all, how are you and where are you?
I'm in New York and I'm fine. And how about you?
I'm the same thing. I'm in New York. I have been, hunkered down here. It's our 11th month since the New York theater shut down.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I was wondering, how are you dealing with the ongoing pandemic? And is there more light in your days now? What is it like for you?
Boy, I think, first of all, when you say it that way, that it's 11 months, it's just incredible. And I think the positive thing is it shows us how adaptable we are to some extent. Some people have struggled more than others, certainly, both in terms of living and dying and also just professionally. And I've been fortunate enough to have some writing projects that have more than kept me busy, but that, I'm very interested in. And so I feel very blessed in that way. And I taught last fall. And I actually have to admit that I kind of liked teaching on Zoom. I was very surprised. I was terrified of it all, but I was shocked. I loved it, actually.
Yeah, that's terrific. I have to tell you, congratulations on the new Disney film. I watched this film 3 times already. It's such a feel-good movie. It's so what families need right now. And I was wondering, what attracted you to this originally?
The script, the script, and exactly what you're saying. It was such a positive way of looking at childhood. Something that could have been otherwise pathologized was kind of magical. And Richard, my last play was about, couldn't be further away, the school to prison pipeline, about, all the ways that kids get in trouble and just can't make it. And here, here's a little girl with a great imagination, and everything turns out just great.
So let's talk about your character is so wonderful, Dr. Meacham. What did you love the most about playing her when you read the script?
I think what I liked the most about her is very, very simple, that she was just really nice, and that, people felt that they were welcome in her house and that she could, make a difference. She's a little zany. And that was fun. Usually I play very straightforward people, the national security advisor, Gloria Acolytis, and even my character on For the People was, very sort of straightforward people. And so she was fun.
Yeah. What was it like sharing the screen with Ben Schwartz and Matilda Lawler? And did you have to work with a CGI squirrel at all in your scenes?
Well, it was kind of like, well, it's come to that, So, of course, the actors were just extraordinary. And I got a chance, in particular, talk to Ben about his the improvisational part of his career. That's very extensive, and I really had no idea, but it just marvel at what he does.
And then there's Matilda. I mean,
she's straight off of Broadway, and she's just got it. She's got it. She has that thing that you can't teach people, and just that charm and that sparkle, and a delightful individual, absolutely delightful.
Because we all fell in love with her during The Ferryman. And I was like, when I realized this movie was coming out, I'm like, I know her. She was that little girl in The Ferryman. Did you have to work? Ulysses is so wonderful in this film. It's like, I would love a squirrel like that. Did you have to work with a CGI version of that? Or what was it like for you?
Well, they would just stop, and I don't know what they were doing, some kind of technical wonder, but we'd have to stop while they figured that out. But I haven't seen the film yet, so I don't know how he ended up looking, but
Oh, wait until February 19th. Like I said, I was honored to see a screening copy. And I've literally, like I said, I've watched it 3 times. You just get so caught up. No one does it better than Disney. You know, when you watch a Disney film, it just is what it is. It's so glorious. It keeps a smile on your face. And I was wondering what it was like for you just living in the world of Disney making this film.
Well, I think that was actually, now that you say that, my first Disney experience. And, you know, from my point of view, you know, it's work. And I would say that, you know, just the excellence all around me was, you know, that's Disney for you, right?
Now, I want to talk about director Lena Khan. I was just turned on by her, and I've been researching her. What a beautiful job she's done with this film. What was it like being on the set with her and getting to know her?
Yeah, well, she's, you know, she's a very a kind person with a great sense of humor. And I'm just excited that, you know, she looks like she's, you know, 12. I'm sure she's older than that. But of course, for me, it's just exciting that as a young woman getting a big break, I think this is the biggest thing she's done so far with Disney.
Because it's really special. You've worked with so many directors throughout your career. And like, you know, I started researching her. Like you said, she's young, she's talented. She wants to do up things, like, you know, happy things. I think this is what we need right now. And I was just wondering what it was like, you know, what made it so special for you with working with her?
Well, I just think that her willingness to try stuff, honestly, and that she's not yet completely set in her ways, right? You know, that's always exciting.
Yeah. You know, I've learned so much from you over the years through your projects. I thought I knew a lot until I went to see your shows like, you know, Fire and Mirror, Twilight, Los Angeles, 1992, and of course, Notes from the Field. I mean, with everything that's been going on in the world, I mean, have you been working on some new projects with stuff that's been happening now with the world and the country?
No, not really. I am developing a project about young girls, and you know, it's not particularly. I don't know that it's uplifting as it sounds, but I think it will be about young girls and how they're affected by poverty. And you know, you know, Richard, I go into the field and do extensive interviews, and of course, that's been slowed down because of the pandemic. But that's what I want to do right now, is to get girls on the agenda. I think it's a time when we're thinking about women differently and femininity differently. And as we're talking about Lena, the possibilities very differently right now. So it's a very dynamic time for women. And I just want to get girls on the agenda by looking at them and learning about them, and hopefully learning about them from themselves and the way that they want to talk about their lives to me.
How far along is this project?
We're still in the money raising phase, but also in meeting the people that we might work with. One of the sites of my work is very likely going to be my high school, Western High School, which is the oldest all-girls public school in the country. And it was a fantastic school. I had an extraordinary educational experience. And so I'm going to go back there. I'm writing, in fact, I have something in the Atlantic magazine this month, March, which is about my own educational experience. But I'm a part of a new project for the Atlantic called the Inheritance Project, which is also called Lost Black History, looking at moments of Black history that are underexplored. And so I'll be writing some things for them. And it's the first time that I've been a contributing writer for a magazine as esteemed as the Atlantic. So I'm very excited about that.
Have you missed being on stage or seeing live theater?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, there's nothing like live theater. And I think for all of us, it's, you know, that haunting question of how it will be possible, and how, not just when we're going to come back, but how we can come back. And I don't, do you have a magic ball, Richard, on that?
It changes every day. Every day I hear a new story or a new something from somebody, but I don't think anybody really knows yet, because I think the vaccine has to roll out. More people have to take it. You know, it's quite interesting. I hope it comes back sooner than later, because I cannot wait to be in an audience the first night when you're sitting there with a program and the curtain goes up.
Can you imagine what that will be like? Oh my gosh. I mean, if we ever thought You know, I remember when I was speaking of Disney, going to see The Lion King. And, you know, just the way the kids were leaning, I was in the balcony, leaning over the balcony, watching those animals come down. That's just the excitement, the electricity, or sitting in an audience for Hamilton. It's going to be like that, but exponentially more.
You know, that's what's great about this new film from Disney, Flora and Ulysses. It's just a happy movie. You fall in love with all these characters. Like I said, you fall in love with Flora. You fall in love with her mom. You fall madly in love with her dad. You fall in love with you. I mean, it just, like I said, to watch this over and over, it just felt so good to be sitting here and saying, you know, after it was over, I was like, everything is good with the world after you watch something like this. And I really...
timing for kids who've been on lockdown.
Yeah.
You know, and having to be at school, at home, and all that stuff. So I really hope it means something to them, and that they, in particular, have a good time.
Because I've told a lot of people that I was doing this, and they're like, oh my God, they were like, I was brought up on her books. I mean, we have to talk about Kate DiCamillo. I mean, her best-selling books. I mean, so many people either read these to their kids or like, these were their favorite stories. And I mean, to talk about a young girl who's a comic book fan and finds this squirrel, and there's the vacuum cleaner. And I mean, it's just, you fall madly in love with all of this stuff. So I think for parents and grandparents and kids all watching this together on, you know, because people are still on lockdown or shut in or whatever, it's going to be great that Disney Plus is offering this to them. Exactly.
And, you know, Kate came to the set and I had a chance to meet her. And, you know, she herself is a very uplifting person. And I love the book. Love the book.
Yeah, all during this pandemic, you know, I'm an uplifting person anyway. I'm uplifted. I just love, like I said, I just love uplifting things all during this pandemic. And I think this is so timely now. And the other fascinating thing about this, you had all finished filming this before the pandemic began, but I understand that Lena had to do all the editing, which is fascinating, all during the COVID pandemic.
Right, right, right. I didn't realize that, but of course she did. Of course she did. Oof. Well, we were lucky that we were finished. I'm in Shonda's new show, Untitled, yeah. And we were shut down in the middle of filming, but they managed to have us come back and finish it. And I also did a West Wing in September. And, you know, listen, it's got to be really expensive. I mean, these protocols are no joke, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And so the question is, I think for us in the theater, you know, is it going to be that there are still unimaginable protocols that are going to be in place? I mean, I guess we should just do a whole bunch of one-person shows. At least that takes care of keeping the actors safe, but the audience is what I can't figure it out. I hope somebody's giving you great ideas, or that you're going to break a story about someone who's figured out how this can work for us.
Well, that's why couldn't wait to talk to you today, because I thought if anybody should be doing a one-person show, it's you.
Well, I'm in the research phase, and that always takes forever, but I'm cool.
Well, we're so looking forward to it. You know, finally, what if you could sum up the best part of the experience of working on this film? What was it for you, Anna?
The best part of the experience was, I would say exactly what I said before, is just how well everything was done, you know, and the level of excellence of everybody, including a young lady like Matilda. I would say that was really the best part of it.
That is great. Well, I want to thank you so much for stopping by today, because when the fans, all your fans at Broadway World heard you were going to be here, they were like, oh my gosh, they can't wait to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And keep that upbeat, you know, you're an elixir.
Oh, I like that very much. So everybody, Disney's Flora and Ulysses starts streaming on Disney Plus on February 19th. It is such a feel-good, wonderful film for the entire family to watch. And like I said, you can stream it anywhere on any device. You can stream it together with your families or stream it alone. It's wonderful. Everybody stay safe. Anna, it's great to see you, my friend.
So great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Superheroes stand watch when danger closes in and save those in need. But they have one thing in common. They never show up in the real world. Until Ulysses. Every superhero comes to us with a purpose. We don't always see it at first. Because we don't always know where to look.
Flora! What is this?
I am Ulysses, born anew. Wholly unanticipated occurrences! Did you type this? He's a superhero. What? Do you have any enemies?
I'm here about the squirrel.
Danger lurks everywhere.
Is he?
He's flying. There was a change in the air. And the world was filling with excitement.
Go! Who's hungry? What now? Come on! Ulysses!
People looked to the skies for someone to save them. So the universe sent us Ulysses. Can you talk? Okay, that's not really talking, but still!